A champion has been crowned, but there's still plenty to race for in TC America, powered by Skip Barber, as the championship hits the second leg of its twin bill and second race of a triple header weekend. 2 races here today, had one already this morning. Jeff Rico wrapped up his second consecutive touring car championship. Congratulations to him, and he'll start on pole position here in the second race of the day and second of the 3 races this weekend. Ryan Marine, Calvin Fish with you. It's Amanda Busick down in the pits on a hot and humid afternoon here in Alabama. Temperatures soaring up into the 90s, high humidity as well, even as the sun starts to set, or at least threaten to set off in the horizon. The heat still lingers, and even in a 25-minute touring car race, that heat could yet have a part to play.
Absolutely. See a few shadows on the track, so that'll drop the track temperature down a little bit. But it's been a busy day for all of these drivers. We're qualifying first thing this morning and race 2 of the day.
Third member of the team is Amanda Busick. Let's hear from her now as the cars are out on the formation laps.
Hey guys, I was trying to sneak by Jen Racer earlier to give a congratulations to our now 2025 champ of Jeff Rica, and Jeff doing Jeff things. He's on the phone taking care of business, but I was able to catch up with him prior to the race. What I loved and what you guys pointed out in the post-race, that Jeff went right over to Atlanta on her podium finish, and that is what Jeff Rica is about. He has had 10 different drivers race in this series this season. So a man putting his value around what he believes in, and told me today that now that he's champion, the strategy stays as is. Speaking of Atlanta, I also talked to her at Jen Racer, and she's just talking about what an opportunity it is for her this weekend. John Fergus was up there as well, and he said she has approached this weekend masterfully, very thoughtful in how she's gone out in practices, and has really come up to this format pretty quickly. She told me that Thursday was the first time that she's had experience in a front drive car, but has other experience here at Barber, Ryan, as you mentioned in the prior broadcast. But all eyes on Jen Racer as Jeff takes some formation laps now as a champion this season. Yeah,
special indeed. Great accomplishment for him. And again, as Amanda pointed out, speaks to what he and the team are all about. When his first reaction was to celebrate with his brand new driver who scored a podium on her debut. The same race where he clinched his second straight championship. So really special day, then it has a chance to get even more special as Jeff Rica will lead the field to green. He was supposed to do that in race 1, had a mechanical issue, ended up only finishing 8th, and yet still clinched the title. Those seem to be done and dusted, so now he will lead the field here in race 2. Jonathan Neudorf will start alongside race 1 winner from earlier today. Eric Coons had the 3rd fastest lap of this morning's race. He'll start in 3rd next to PJ Gronke, who's trying to lock in 2nd in the championship. Connor Attrell will share the 3rd row with the runner-up this morning, Alana Carter. They will start 5th and 6th, the 2 teammates from Rica Autosport. Antonio Costantino had mechanical gremlins pop up in race 1. James Kleinus will share row 4 with him, and then Chris Taylor also with some mechanical issues in the first race. Didn't see the checkered flag, and hopefully those have been rectified as he looks to make his 2nd series start. And happy to report the car is on track. That's the Mazda 3 out at the back of the pack. Long-time club-level racer at the SCCA level, getting an opportunity to jump behind the wheel of the car he was crewing on just a few weeks ago. Speaking of some of the stories we'll be watching, let's go back to Amanda for some more news from the pit lane.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that 69 Mazda is back up there. I snuck up and talked to Chris Taylor after the first race, and they were having a turbo issue. I understand that they may have changed the entire turbo system and get ready for this race, but he said he's just having such a good time out here. Does have experience at Barber as well, and hopes that that plays into his hands, guys. Yeah,
he's a former race winner in B-Spec competition as recently as last year, if I'm not mistaken, in the SCCA, Sports Car Club of America. So knows his way around the track and has a long history with Mazda as well. He and his dad ran a rotary engine prep shop for a number of years, and Chris now runs a racing prep shop just outside of the premises of Circuit of the Americas. He's from Elroy, Texas, which is basically where COTA is located on the outskirts of Austin. So brings a lot of experience and knowledge to this opportunity with FTG Racing. He'll start out back here for the 2nd race of the weekend. getting ready for the start. It is Jeff Ricca, the champion-elect, on pole position. Card to the right-hand side of the screen on the front row. He shares it with Jonathan Neudorf, 2 times a winner this year. Then it's Coons and Gronke, Atrell and Carter, Costantino and Klimas, with Taylor out back as we look for the green flag. There it is. Race is on. Race 2 of the weekend begins at Barber Motorsports Park, and it's Ricca leading the charge down to turn 1, but Neudorf won't give up easily.
No, making that adjustment. He just got out of a GT4 car and gets in this TC car and pushing for the lead early. Gets the inside run through turn 2. Ricca tries to come back at him.
Already 2 races into the day, and Neudorf has a win and a podium in a touring car race and a GT4 race. Now back in the touring car, and he's back to the front. This is where he led. Woo. This is what he did in that first race, taking the lead early, never looking back. He was never headed in race number 1, and he's got the lead once again.
Yeah, dancing that car on the brakes there down in the hill there in turn 5. Tires not completely up to temperature, even though it won't take long in these sort of ambient and track conditions. On the defense here, what can Ricca do? Looks to the outside as they come into that corkscrew-esque type turn here, down towards the museum.
This is the museum complex. The museum is just to the left there, overlooking this gorgeous part of the racetrack. Neudorf fends off the challenge from Ricca. At the back of the pack, Taylor up a couple of spots. He's around Klimas and Carter, who has dropped all the way back to 8th after finishing runner-up earlier this morning. Wonder if there might be more to that story, but it is a good start for Taylor and a really good news there for the FTG team.
Yeah, for Carter, she only qualified 6th to not a great fast lap in the race this morning, even though she finished a superb runner-up. So she's had a bit of drama here on the opening lap, it looks like.
Neudorf coming through to lead lap number 1. These are short, sharp races this year in TC America, just 25 minutes. That's down from 40 in years past. Neudorf led all 25 minutes earlier today, but he did not have to reckon with Jeff Ricca, who had those mechanical issues on the grid. It never factored for the lead of the race.
Neudorf, big commitment there through turn 1, used all of the concrete, exit curbing and a little bit of the grass, had some dirt on the tires, big understeering at turn 2, hangs on to it. He had lofty goals after that first win this morning, drawing about 6 wins with 2 triple headers in TC and Pirelli GT4, but 6 podiums would be pretty sweet as well, Ryan.
It certainly would. He's 2 for 2 as far as podiums go thus far, and now leading once again, as he did earlier today. In the background, Eric Coons giving another good run to his Hyundai, finished 3rd in race 1 this morning. PJ Gronke giving chase, trying to hang on for 2nd in points. So with Neudorf leading, that is bad news for PJ Gronke, who has seen his advantage in that fight for 2nd in the championship shrink week on week, it seems like, here as we've gone through the dog days of summer.
It's down to just 11 points coming into this race today, or the second race, should I say, the race we're looking at. So as they run right now, that would move Neudorf up to 2nd in points, but still a long way to go in this one.
Taylor has slipped back behind Klimas and now runs ahead of Carter, who still is out there, but not running at the pace that we saw from her earlier today. Stuck at the moment behind Taylor, fighting for 8th and 9th.
Well, this will really be a key here. She did great with her pace, certainly in qualifying for the first race of the weekend and running up at the sharp end, but now she's got to really display her racecraft here. She's not had a great opening lap, got to go to work.
As Amanda said, very limited experience racing on a front-wheel drive car on a road course.
She got elbowed out there. That's
Sure
where
did.
she got shuffled back to the tail end of this field.
Well, comes from a circle track background on dirt and pavement, so maybe not totally unaccustomed to some of the rubbiness racing style that you'll see in touring car racing from time to time.
I think this is really going to showcase where we're at with the BOP between the Toyota and the Hyundai right now. You got the best in the biz in terms of whether these Hyundais with Jeff Ricca now up to speed, had those technical issues earlier today. The Hyundais have been slowed down a little bit further since Road America coming into this race weekend. Neudorf obviously won in a canter here this morning, but right now he's got a lot more pressure.
Different experience altogether, having the 2-time and defending champion Jeff Ricca breathing down his neck. As you saw, Carter did get by Taylor, so back up to 8th and setting off now in pursuit of James Klimas for 7th and 8th. But those cars are all running off the pace of the race leader Neudorf, who does have the fastest lap of the race so far at a 1:37.524, just fractionally quicker than Jeff Ricker as far as the best lap is concerned.
Coons is running really strong as well. He's not letting his team leader get away from him, and actually Ricker moves there to the middle of the road. Not sure if he's just looking for some clean air on the front end of that Hyundai. It's still a pretty toasty day out there. We're up in the mid-90s ambient right now.
Interesting, on our race vision powered by AWS, it's actually PJ Gronke who is quickest through the first sector of this racetrack. PJ down in fourth. There he is. You could tell it is PJ's car because it's the one with stickers everywhere. I don't know why they bothered to paint it because it ends up just covered with stickers anyway, but you know, PJ does a great job putting partners together to go racing, trying to secure second in points. Amanda, what can you tell us about PJ Gronke?
Yeah, I walked up to him after race one. He immediately came up to me. He was like, "I'm sorry, I was so excited at the start of the race. I didn't realize that I had pulled out." Meanwhile, I was just going over there to chat with him about his weekend, but we just wanted to get that out. He said that the team radioed him and said that he got out of line at the start. He said he had to actually pause and think for a minute and say he didn't realize that he had done that, but said that he knows that he has the car here this weekend. He said he felt great starting in that P4 position and just really felt strong on that car. So not surprised to see he's making up some of those good sector times here at Barber.
Yeah, it's a good point, Amanda, to go back to race one. He actually had what looked like a tremendous start at first blush, got up to second, but it was a little too good, as it turned out. Moved out of column too soon.
It's tough. The racer's instinct kicks in immediately when you see the opportunity or you have a run coming to the green flag, and there's very strict rules that they enforce religiously in terms of not breaking column there until you cross the stripe.
Problems, it would appear, for Antonio Costantino, who had some electrical gremlins. That's the teammate and sister car to the race leader, Jonathan Neudorf, and they've been chasing this electrical problem all weekend long. I don't know for sure that that's what's caused him to come to the pit lane, but something clearly is amiss for the young Canadian Antonio Costantino.
Yeah, changed the complete wiring harness prior to race one here today, so something's still amiss with that race car, and it's got to be so frustrating for Costantino to see his teammate running up front with a healthy race car, but that's just racing sometimes. You have a little glitch. Team is working hard to try and find it, and they got great support from Toyota. But up front, Ricker's looking a bit more menacing to me. It seems like Neudorf's really having to overdrive his car here to maintain this lead.
Jeff just took back the fastest lap of the race by about 1/10 of a second from Neudorf. Neudorf has answered back with a personal best first sector.
Ricker really wide there, excuse me. I could just see him understeering off the road there through that high-speed chicane.
Like Neudorf had the pace through sector 2 and actually has built the margin out a little bit once again. Battle starting to erupt here between Klimas in the black Toyota Corolla from the Skip Barber Racing School team and Alana Carter, who has made her way back by Taylor, as we mentioned, and has started to run down Klimas now for position.
She's got a lot of speed. She just ran a lap of 1:37.4 that compares pretty well with Neudorf's fast lap of the day, a 1:37.1. So, yeah, just the opening lap. She had a poor starting position, got shuffled out in turn 2, and now is on the rebound here a little bit.
Won a scholarship shootout recently, did Alana Carter, that has led to an opportunity in WRL, the World Racing League. That shootout was actually organized by Aaron Vogel, who was a longtime racer in this paddock, and didn't get a chance to mention that in race one, but wanted to bring that to light because Aaron, wow, we haven't seen her behind the wheel of a race car lately. When she elected to hang up the helmet, I think one of the reasons was she wanted to continue her mission of helping to welcome more women into the world of motorsports, and the scholarship that she's helped to create has certainly done that for the likes of Alana Carter, who told me she'll drive for that team until they get sick of her, basically. She's having so much fun.
Yeah, we miss having Erin in our paddock racing with us, but great to see that she still has the love for the sport and is supporting some of the other female drivers out there, trying to give them opportunity, which is pretty cool.
PJ Gronke got around Eric Coons, so now runs third. Coons, after showcasing some really good speed early on, has found himself in the crosshairs of his teammate Connor Attrell. This is 4th and 5th. A couple of teammates going at it hammer and tong.
Yeah, this is really good stuff. Yeah, Gronke's on the march here. He is really flying right now. Just sits just over a second back of the team leader, Jeff Ricker, in P3. So he's escaped Coons and Cottrellas well down the road.
And PJ just did the best Sector 1 on the last lap of anyone. His most recent lap was within fractions of what the front runners have done. Neudorf, by the way, has taken fastest lap of the race back by 6/1000ths of a second. And then it's 21 thousandths back to PJ Gronke's third best time, with Jeff Ricker sandwiched in between.
Yeah, literally nothing between the top three right now as they escape the chasing pack here. There's Gronke turned into turn 5. Here's this battle between Coons and Atrell.
Welcome back to Connor Atrell. Saw him for a couple of weekends early in the season from a family that has long connections with Hyundai. They own and operate a number of Hyundai dealerships north of the border.
What a cool sector that is, plunging down the hill towards the museum. Really use a lot of that curb through the middle there. You can drive most of the car over there and still not be out of bounds, and they're not calling track limits there this weekend.
A lot of the curbs around this place seem usable, but maybe send you for a bit of a jolt up and over some of the big ones.
Coons is out of position there. We talked about how precise you have to be there. He just missed his turn-in point to turn 12, and that set him up incorrectly for 13. Atrell had nowhere to go with it. They had to run him over, literally.
Thought better of it rather than roughing up a teammate. Really good battles here between these two. Coons, who got that podium earlier today, runs just off of it now in 4th.
Yeah, new fast lap for Ricker, so he's going to be a little bit closer to Neudorf in the battle for the win.
Gronke actually just did another great lap. He has the second fastest lap of the race now.
I'd say this is the strongest race of Gronke for the year.
I agree.
In terms of his pace, yeah, he's had some great podium runs, but he's got a really fast race car here today.
Now, we've talked about how PJ's coming to grips with this car. It is a departure from what he's driven in recent years. Meanwhile, we talked about Connor Atrell having a solid run in 5th, and Amanda has more on him.
Well, I loved how you welcomed him back. Another person that's going to be happy to see him back is none other than Alana Carter, who's making her debut here. Follow along with me here, guys. She came into the weekend, unfortunately, with the wrong helmet. The paddock actually jumped in to try to help her out. Laura Hayes offered her helmet. Tyler Stone offered his helmet, who she actually would wear in practice. But this shout out goes to Connor Atrell's mom. She flew with Alana's helmet down from Toronto so she could have it here this weekend.
That is good stuff. Thanks for that, Amanda. By the way, Costantino is back in the pits. He had been in and left. Amanda said they were changing some elements of the onboard computer and hoped that would solve the problem. Evidently it has not. He's back stationary in the pit lane, as you can see, top of the shot. But this battle rages on the track with Coons and Atrell, and absolutely nothing between them.
Yeah, there's the work on Constantino's car, I believe, that we're looking at right there. Atrell was really using up the curbs there in his chase of Coons for P4. This battle is not going anywhere. Fascinating stuff between the two teammates.
You look at them. Atrell won a race last year. In fact, finished on the podium in a pair of starts at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, won the season finale, and then contested the weekends at Circuit of the Americas and Sebring. Best finish of 2nd so far this year. Finished 4th this morning. He has 4th in the crosshairs right now, but he has to pry it away from Eric Coons. He's got 11 minutes with which to do so.
Yeah, I think Atrell's got the speed, has just really been disciplined enough to kind of put it all together. We talk about this racetrack, fun to drive, somewhat difficult to make some legit passing moves. Turn 5 is the only one you'd say, okay, every single time down there you've got some room to work with, but the rest of it is kind of a single line, and you can have some momentum. Like we've seen Atrell, oh, that was sideways, big catch there into turn 12.
Really good car control. Now has to gather it back in. Gives Koons a bit of a respite, but for how long? How long does it take for Trell to get back to the back bumper of his teammate Eric Koons? Almost looks like just one car, and then suddenly you realize, oh, there actually are two in this shot. That's how close the two are.
Yeah, it's a great battle. And Trell, as I said, he's just got to be disciplined. I think he's got the speed. I think he's able to roll a little bit more apex speed through a couple of these corners, but you can't literally run over your teammate. Got to try and make it stick somewhere down in one of these brake zones.
Not close enough here into turn 5. Koons solidly in control of 4th place. Trell doubling down on his chase. Neudorf continues to lead though, Cal. 9/10 of a second from second on the grid. Grabbed the lead right at the very start and was under a bunch of pressure, but now it's stabilized, and the fly in the ointment potentially for both of the top two, but maybe especially for Jeff Rica. Here comes PJ Gronke.
Yeah, well, you'd have to think, with Jeff Rica having won this championship, he knows there's a fierce battle developing now between Neudorf and Gronke for P2. Does he allow PJ through to get that second place? That would keep him in second place in the championship at the same time. So I'm talking second place on the road here. Would give him those extra 3 points and keep him within the swing that Neudorf's looking at.
Yeah, so 25 points for Neudorf to win. It would be 10 points the swing, because it's a 15-point payout for 3rd place, but 18 points for 2nd. So that is a consideration worth having. If Jeff can't win, and maybe he can, I'm not sure he's given up on that just yet, but if he deems Neudorf too strong, then maybe that is worth considering, letting the teammate through to have a fight with Neudorf and at least take home those extra 3 points.
Yeah, because unofficially at least, I think it would only be a 1-point margin going into the 3rd race of the weekend, with PJ still just holding on to that 2nd place.
Super tight margins in that battle for 2nd in points, but this drive from Neudorf, yes, he's won a couple of times this year, but for me, both of those were races where either Rica had some issues or there was some strange weather.
Right.
None of that here today. This is all about Jonathan Neudorf seizing the lead right at the get-go and then holding on to it.
Yeah, and it's so impressive. Like I said, he's literally jumped out of a totally different race car to put it all on the line around the outside in turn 1 and keep it together, and then get his head down under severe pressure there for a few laps. He certainly gapped Rica by a 2nd plus now to take that pressure off a little bit, but nonetheless just really showcase what a talent he is up front right now.
Credit again where credit is due to John Farrow, who heads up the JMF Motorsports operation, which has really grown over the last few years and provides a pipeline and an opportunity for talented racing drivers, primarily but not exclusively Canadians, to showcase their skills. I mean, what a great benefactor to sports car racing John Farrow has become in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and hats off to Danny Koch. That's a lot of plates to keep spinning with multiple programs like that. He's an excellent team manager, so much experience, always got a smile on his face, and really loves his driver lineup. He just said, I got so many great young chargers here who are just so disciplined, so motivated, just leaving no stone unturned in terms of how they can improve their game.
And to illustrate how busy he is, how many plates he has spitting, to continue the metaphor, 2 cars here in TC America, a couple of cars in Pirelli GT4 America, plus for the first time this year, this season I should say, it's been the season debut of their GT3 program in GT World Challenge America.
One on debut.
Yeah, exactly. And have been super strong in that category this weekend here too so far. So a really amazing job to build and maintain that program. And you have so many different things going on all at once.
This is a cool fight. This is a cool fight. Trell looks to the inside. So hard to follow this close through these switchbacks. Trell is looking a little bit more disciplined here. He's tidied his game up a little bit. Koons is being pretty stoic there, isn't he, Ryan? He's just really not opening up the door, not making that big mistake to allow Trell a real shot at that position.
Got his second podium of the season earlier today. Second, third place result. Won a championship up in Canada last year, did Eric Coons. Sports Car Championship Canada TCA class champion in a similar style of car, front-wheel drive Honda Civic SI. Very, very impressive season. 7 wins, 9 podiums. But stepping into TC America, that level of competition goes up, and it starts even within his own team. You look at the talent just within the Ricca Autosport camp that you have to contend with before you even factor in the other drivers on the grid. Here's Carter. She's run down James Klimas, and now making a look to the inside at least, trying to pry that position away. This is 6th and 7th up for grabs.
Yeah, and she'll be just ruining the fact that despite that great runner-up finish this morning, she didn't lay down a super fast lap. Started deep in the pack, got out-shuffled there on the opening lap. She's had great pace here again in this race, but just out of position on the track, obviously.
Yeah, best lap is a 37.4 and has been in traffic most of the race. I think she would line up 5th for the race tomorrow.
Yeah, I think potentially there's a bit more pace there as well. As you said, she laid that lap down and then immediately got into traffic a little bit. Klimas' fastest lap is a 38.3, so almost a second between these two drivers in terms of their fast lap of the race, but Klimas still has the track position.
Sure does. Not ready to relinquish it. Matched his season best with a 5th earlier today. Runs 6th right now. Been fun watching James come up the ladder within the Skip Barber Racing School team. Raced in GR Cup in recent years and now steps into this touring car offering from Toyota.
This is where she needs to set it up. That was a really good job she did through turn 2. Now she's got the run. Now she's got to be thinking about trying to make an out-breaky move here into turn 5. Good setup so far.
Got a nice run up the hill.
Flick it to the inside. Here she goes.
Klimas sees her coming.
Down there. Just got to get down there and then just box him out. I think she's got it done. It's going to be tight. No, Klimas gets a good run off of turn 5.
She gave a lot of room on the exit.
She's running really clean, maybe a bit too respectful. Time to get those elbows out a little bit.
Bobble there, though, coming down the hill, almost balked a little bit by the traffic.
Yeah, I think so, and she may have just dabbed the brakes there and got the splitter down on the curb there, which is pretty high, obviously. So I think she was just waiting on Klimas to go. He didn't go anywhere, and she had to touch the brakes potentially.
Another showcase, though, Cal, of how far the Toyota has come since it debuted earlier this season, and now the level playing field we see between two very different platforms. We haven't talked about it yet this weekend, but this Corolla, it's 4-wheel drive, whereas the Hyundai is front-wheel drive. So, you know, they make their speed in different ways.
Yeah, let's not forget there is a chance of some rain here tomorrow, so certainly the Toyota drivers would be loving that.
And we've seen them excel in the wet. That helped them to that breakthrough win, didn't it, at VIR? But really the eye-opener was the last round at Road America, where it was bone dry, and even still they had strong pace, strong straight line speed, which hadn't really been the case up to that point in the season.
See the difference there. As Klimas drops the wheel, this may give her an opportunity. I was going to say she didn't really set it up like she did on the previous lap by really executing turn 2 perfectly. Looks to the inside, a little bit too far back this time, I think. And when you get down to the inside there, you just got to take it a little bit deeper, keep the car in a straight line so you can do that maximum braking, and just leave the driver on the outside, know where to go, and then just get on with your game.
Down to just 1 minute to go. Neudorf will see the white flag next time by. Leads by 1.6 seconds over Jeff Ricca. BJ Grunke has not been able to maintain the pace. He's dropped back about 2 seconds behind his teammate and team boss. Here is Neudorf looking for his second win of the day, third podium of the day in 2 different series, 2 different cars. He has 1 lap to go. 2 1/3 miles, 17 turns around Barber Motorsport Park.
Been a great run. Jeff Ricker, as you said, has kind of escaped PJ by about 3 seconds. I'm sure the team are talking to him about championship positions. Gronke would maintain second in the points, even despite finishing 10 points adrift of Neudorf in terms of today's results. But is Ricker that kind? Would he want to give that second place up to Gronke?
1 lap left in this battle, too. Klimas hanging on to 6th place. Alana Carter, who had the runner-up finish earlier today, would love to get that one last spot before the checker flag comes out on her second race in the championship. But it's all about Jonathan Neudorf right now. Oh, here she comes. This time she is alongside. Opens the door back up to the inside, but Klimas can't get the power down enough to challenge. So Carter, on the final lap, does take the position away.
That was nice. She basically pieced it all together. She got a really good run through turn 2 as we just cut away to the leader momentarily, and obviously that got her in position to finally make that move into 5.
And in position now to win back-to-back races is Jonathan Neudorf. Jeff Ricker running a solid but distant second. The champion-elect will add to his podium tally, and PJ Gronke looking to get back on the podium in 3rd. But for the 2nd time today, and the 3rd time this season, Jonathan Neudorf is a race winner in TC America, powered by Skip Barber. He takes race 2 of the weekend at Barber Motorsports Park. Rica comes home 2nd, Gronke in 3rd. Neudorf closes in that much closer now for 2nd in points.
Yeah, that team is on fire right now. Big results every single weekend, it seems.
Checkered flag is out here as well as Coons and Atrell come across the line. Atrell got the spot.
Did.
And Carter comes home 6th. Klimas 7th. Costantino slowed again by some technical gremlins. They'll go to work on that overnight, but does see the checkered flag at least here in race 2, which is an improvement from earlier today. And Chris Taylor evidently after 8 laps had to pull it into the garage and was an early out despite a strong start to race 2. Well, how about this from Neudorf? That is a statement, isn't it? The way he seized the lead right at the very beginning. And although he was under pressure, never cracked.
Yeah, and importantly for him, his fast lap is just 7 thousandths quicker than Gronke, but he'll be in the same position he was today on the outside of the front row there.
Wow.
So can he cut and paste it for tomorrow's start?
Well, Gronke starts closer to the front than he has in either of the races so far.
That was the best run I think I've seen from PJ this year, just in terms of his ultimate pace. He was right on it.
Certainly would agree wholeheartedly. And I'm sure he's already thinking about putting a program for next year together and having a solid finish to the season this year. Just a little more wind in the sails as he tries to take the next step. 2-time TC America champion in the TCB and TCA classes. This year, all the classes combined into one. And your champion is Jeff Ricker. That was clinched earlier this morning with still 4 races to go in the season. Such has been his dominance. 3 races remain, though, after the checker flag came out here this afternoon. Here are the provisional race results. Neudorf from Ricker from Gronke. That's the podium, 1, 2, and 3. Toyota leads home 5 Hyundais in 2nd through 6th. We're told that Eric Coons may have slowed on the final lap. He lost a lot of ground. That helped to allow a trail through, who comes home in 4th. Coons does hang on for 5th ahead of Carter, Klimas, Costantino, and Taylor. The finishing order here for the 2nd of 3 races of the weekend, just outside of Birmingham.
It was a fun one.
Yeah. Plenty to chew on, and there you go. You're not number 2, but it was win number 2 for Jonathan Neudorf, and a 3rd podium today on a hot day. This is as hot as it's likely to be all weekend long.
Yeah, it was as hot as the weather, I think.
I think you're right. Oh, that's pretty cool, too. The champion-elect, Jeff Ricker, comes by to celebrate and congratulate the young man who immediately sticks the ice down the back of the suit, try and cool off as best as he can. And let's hear from him now, I believe. As soon as he gets that winner's hat on, we'll have a chance to hear from the Canadian, who for the third time this season is a race winner in TC America. The whole JMF team is there to celebrate with him. Here's Jesse Webb, who he drives with in GT4 America. But in TC America, there is our race winner for the second time today, Amanda.
Absolutely, as he's talking to the team. And Jonathan, I just heard you ever say that the first race was super hot. This one was a little better, but you worked a little bit for this one as well. You're going for the sweep tomorrow. What did you learn today that can better that?
Yeah, it was exhausting, first of all, getting out of the GT4 car and then hopping straight into this, not even 5 minutes in between. But luckily this car has a little bit of ventilation and the GT4 doesn't, so that was good to get some fresh air. Yeah, it feels great to get 2 in a row. Yeah, the goal is for 3 in a row, get the weekend sweep. Once again, thanks to JMF, Toyota, Nuterra, AlphaJet, everyone for helping me out. It's awesome.
Congratulations. So Jonathan, going to head over to Jeff Ricca as he closes out today in Barber Motorsports Park as the 2025 champion here in TC America. And Jeff, as we talked prior to you leaving off the grid, just your commitment to this class, 10 different drivers this season. But how has this season bettered you?
I mean, on the business side of things and the management side, it couldn't have been better. I mean, we're showing that we're bringing talent to SRO, and we believe in the ladder system that they have here in the GT4, the GT3, and anything else that they have under the paddock. So, I feel like I'm bringing value, and they appreciate that too. And that, at the end of the day, make me sleep well, because I know I'm doing my job.
Congratulations to Jeff Ricca on what an unbelievable season, and to close it out here well ahead of Indianapolis. And as I head over to PJ, I'm going to tell you first off that Calvin Fish says that he thinks this was the best drive that he's seen from you all season. From earlier today to right now, how proud are you of this one?
Oh, well, this was definitely the way we want to do things. I had a little bit of a brain fart in the first race, but definitely determined to make up for it. I can't thank Hyundai Motor America enough, Ricca Autosport, the Hyundai Elantra N1 TC Evo. It was just on fire this afternoon. That was, Calvin, one of my most fun, best races ever. It was really good. I know you're watching, and thank you so much for everything, everyone. This is a pleasure.
And to answer Ryan's question, just how many stickers this season?
As many as I can fit on the car, because that's how I get out here, and I can't thank them all enough for everything.
Congrats, PJ.
Thank you, Amanda.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, really cool.
Now, PJ Gronke, hard-fought third, and good to hear he enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed watching him fight his way through the field here in race 2 today. There's how it played out. Second race of the weekend. Watch this move around the outside. Jonathan Neudorf from the outside of the front row on the starting grid grabs the lead away from the pole sitter, Jeff Ricca, fresh out of the GT4 car, and he was right on the pace immediately. Champion-elect as of this morning, Jeff Ricca tried to get the position back, but just didn't have the answers. Neudorf able to fend him off the rest of the way. Good battles deeper in the pack. Atrell and Coons, 4th and 5th up for grabs. That changed hands only on the final lap. This one as well, late into going, as Atlanta Carter got to the inside of James Klimas and was able to take the 6th spot. Jonathan Neudorf, though, built a healthy margin. It was nearly 2 seconds when the checkered flag fell. For the second time today alone, Jonathan Neudorf is a TC America class winner at Barber Motorsports Park, but Jeff Ricca celebrates as your 2025 champion.
Let's hear it for Jeff Ricca!
And the podium celebration is underway. Jeff there to celebrate with his teammate, PJ Gronke. Ricca Autosport with 2 drivers on the podium. But it is none other than Jonathan Neudorf, who for the second time will take the top step of the rostrum and celebrate as a race winner today. Best drive of the year for him?
Yeah, I mean, just superb performances. I mean, Ricca, you know, kept pushing, but it seemed like the Toyota suddenly has got a similar pace. We know there's been some BOP changes to try and control the Hyundai speed, so that has to factor into it. But I think we're at a stage now where these two manufacturers can go head-to-head every single weekend.
Yeah, really encouraging news with the hope of greater growth in the championship for next year. But for Toyota, to see the steps they've been able to take since the season began all those months ago at Sonoma, remarkable, taking the fight to the established powers in TC America, Rick Autosport.
Race fans, give it up again for your
Well, one more race still to come tomorrow. Chance for maybe some rain. That could mix some things up.
Yeah, that would only make it better for Neudorf for that all-wheel drive Toyota, but I think even in dry conditions, as he just demonstrated, going up against Ricker with a healthy race car, unlike the technical issue he had this morning, he has the pace.
So Jeff Ricker is the champion-elect, but look how close it is. Second and third, provisionally. Just a handful of points between PJ Gronke and Jonathan Neudorf, who continues to close in.
Yeah, it's getting really tight there. I was thinking that maybe Ricker would give up that runner-up position to keep PJ a little bit more of a buffer, but not to be. I think if they found nose to tail, maybe it would have been differently. But Neudorf's definitely on the charge. Big weekend for him. Can he sweep tomorrow? That is the big question.
If he can, he would take possession of second place in points, no matter what PJ Gronke was able to do. That's it for our busy day of coverage here at Barber today, but still 2 more days to come.